So the Abyss is here. We've made it. The Abyss dropped last night with a new banner featuring Layle's EX and Squall's EX and his rework. Quick thoughts on the Abyss. It's kind of annoying. Constantly having to switch teams. I mean, I was kind of expecting it because it was said to be Heretic style, which is it's fine. But having to just swap characters so often, making new teams and everything, it wears on me after a bit. I cleared the Cosmos last night, the first Cosmos on 3.9. Kind of just took a break. We'll get back to more stuff. I'm going to be putting out some videos and stuff in the future to try and help out. Especially with the level 100 stuff, because those are the ones that you have to perfect like you would in the Heretics in order to move on. If you don't perfect it by clearing getting the score and the mission requirements at the same time, you won't move on. It won't unlock the next part for you to do. You actually have to perfect everything with the specific characters it's asking you to bring, even though it's not specifying characters, it's specifying character types, like great sword types, throw types. It wants you to use yellow crystal characters, yada, 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 so on and so forth. So we're going to be talking about the importance of Layle and Squall for the Cosmos era, because they are dropping in the Cosmos era. Layle's EX is kind of specifically Cosmos design, as well as Squall's. I'm going to be honest. You know what? We'll save all Squall talk when we get to it, because we're going to do Layle first, because there's not much to the Layle. We all know what Layle does. We know you, boy. We know our boy. He was meta for like the longest time back when he got his level 60 awakening, because that's when we had the launch meta. And so nothing has changed. He hasn't gotten a rework, because if he got his rework, he'd be busted. But so no rework for Layle. It's literally just an EX weapon. So let's talk about that. The EX weapon, Guy Bolg, it's a funny name. It sounds funny. Guy Bolg is a 5-hit AoE, single target HP attack. So what I mean by that is the Brave hits will actually attack everyone, but it'll only do HP damage to one. The Brave damage is increased by 1.6 times when attacking a single target. So if there's only one enemy, like on the Vaden Cosmos, you're doing that, it'll do increased damage. And then it does increase damage by, I think it was 1.5 for attacking characters inflicted with the Force debuff. It auto-initiates a launch sequence. So on the target you're attacking specifically, so if there are multiple targets and you're targeting A when you start the attack, A will get launched. And here's the kicker. Anyone else that were hit with the Brave attacks who weren't targeted, so you targeted A and there's a B in the field. A gets launched, you come back down, B is going to be ready to be launched. So it auto-initiates the launch sequence on the specific target while preparing the other targets to be launched directly after, which is nice. It has a fast recast speed when it's at max limit break, so you're going to be like Bart's and Quistis, you're going to be slapping this EX out like a lot. And then it also gives the party a framed max brave, a frame buff. I don't remember the name of it, but it increases the max brave, the attack, and increases the chase value damage of everyone's skills by 3 points, which is awesome, because then that makes it easier for you to launch, which is nice. So with the release of Layle's EX weapon, does that make him better for Cosmos? It does. It does, actually, as a matter of fact. Honest to God, you can still use Layle for certain Cosmoses, especially when there's a single target. There's multiple targets. I wouldn't really bother if you don't have Layle's EX. But with it, it gives him a little more longevity, because it also gives him an HP attack plus, which I forgot to mention, which is fairly simple. Just raises the Brave, and then he just hits. There's no extra Brave damage on there. But again, the problem with Layle is pretty much the problems that we've had before, where, yes, even with the EX weapon, outside of that, his abilities, besides the little extras effects that you get at energy, and they're just kind of lackluster in terms of Brave shaving. He gets low action delay on a lot of what he's doing, so he's actually skipping turns and he's stealing turns, so you're using him a little more frequently, and then sometimes you would like. Field Burst still doesn't do any HP damage. It's still only Brave damage, so you're wasting a turn using that when you could be using that to apply damage. And then one of the the real saving grace about Layle is his energy gain, where he gets it really easy to launch. He actually brought batteries to the party with Brave, and he has a delay. So with Layle, he's really awkward for trash mobs. He's really awkward for trash clears. So like the stages in between before bosses and stuff, he's just weird. And he's still gonna be pretty weird when it comes to dealing with multiple bosses. While his EX does attack and do brave damage to both bosses and HP damage to only one, outside of that EX, like you're still kind of like, okay, there's two of you. And, do you see my point? So while Layle's EX gives him a good amount, I feel like he doesn't bring back the launch meta. He doesn't bring back what he started in the first place when he got his level 60. And I feel like he's easily going to be outshined, especially once the level 70 hits, because right now launches aren't really needed, especially when we have characters such as Vayne, we have Quistis, delay experts who can do the job a little bit better. Cloud is a decent. He's a decent launcher, but he also has more tricks up his sleeves with the paralysis, higher HP damage on crits, raising his brave upon attack. He's a high max brave stat. Other characters, Jax, while they don't have like delay or turn shenanigans, they just do more damage. And at this point, that's kind of what we want. Is we just want more damage, and we take whatever launches that we can get. So you can get use out of Layle. Do I feel that he's important for Cosmos? Do I feel like you should have him right now? Do I feel like he's going to change the state of the game? No. Absolutely not. You can get by for a little while, especially on single target enemies, with just Layle and his 35 CP, which is just fine. Especially for early stages. Not later on. They got too much health for that. But early stages, you can still get some use out of Layle. And fear not, his EX returns like one of the most out of all the characters in the games. Like, I know it comes back with his EX plus and like 2, 3, I think even, no, just about 2 or 3 times like in between that. So his EX returns, you don't have to stress about getting it now, honestly. I personally, if Layle's an absolute favorite, by all means, yes, go ahead. We play this game for favorites. We play this game to play our favorites. If Layle is a favorite of yours, by all means, slap this banner, hit it, grab that EX. But if he's not too much of a favorite, and you have other great DPS units, I would leave him for now. There's always an opportunity to get his EX a little later down the road when maybe you have a little more resources, or we're not in the month of August, where 2 Titans are sitting in the draw shop right now, Zac and Vayne, where you should be putting those gems. Alright, and now on to our next character, whose EX is returning with his rework. Squall. Squall. I feel like you should have gotten this EX sooner, this rework sooner, dude. Okay, so let's talk about the rework. So, the rework makes it so Renzo Kukin is no longer the important ability, it's Solid Barrel. Because immediately using Solid Barrel gives him a frame buff that raises his initial brave, so you no longer have to worry about, like losing the plus to Solid Barrel and Renzo Kukin. Solid Barrel will now regardless do HP damage, whether it's plus or not, and plus will just do more damage and has overflow. I think an overflow is up to 150 or 120. I'm pretty sure it's 150, which is pretty good. So Solid Barrel still, it will hit everything with the end attack. Like, when he does that swipe, there's a big explosion. It will hit everything, but it'll still do HP damage to one target. So with that, and he also gets 2 additional uses for it, so it's pretty good. Renzo Kukin now does even more damage. There's still no overflow on it, unfortunately. But it's understandable because it now does 100% AoE HP damage to all targets on the field. So it's doing 100% shared damage to everyone. Excuse me. So that's kind of the gist of Squall's rework, and also too what that new frame buff that he gets from his solid barrel. He gets an HP attack and a brave attack plus, which is okay. They don't do a lot of damage. They're kind of just there for trash clears because they do AoE damage. The HP attack, I think it's 100% or 50% splash damage, something like that. But it's really only good for splash clears because they just don't do a lot of damage. They don't have a high brave damage potency. And this also kind of just makes his EX pretty much worthless. I'm not going to say like pretty much worthless. It's still nice to have the EX because it's an extra damage option. And it still gives him a good buff where it raises his attack. Not that he needs that anymore. And his max brave by a little bit, which was something you want. Honestly, I know I just said the EX is useless, but you want more Max Brave because Max Brave is a problem for Squall. His Max Brave is sitting pretty low compared to some other people. So you kind of need some help with that. You need to kind of build your party around getting his Max Brave up. So, thoughts on Squall? Is he important for the Cosmos era? Honest to God, he's not. I'm going to be real. If you have Lon and Rain, Lon and Reyna, you know, they're kind of doing the job. They have a much higher max brave too than Squall, and they're doing the job already. And they have elemental built into it, so like you could kind of like cheese some bosses with some weakness damage and stuff. There will be some resistances on them, which is unfortunate, but they still do incredible amounts of damage. And like, while neither of their abilities have overflow, you're going to cap a lot of the times, especially if you're on a dual boss, which you should be bringing them to anyway. With Squall, you don't really have to worry too much about capping either. You're going to be hitting that, you know, that threshold quite often. The problem is with Squall is, even with the HP attack plus and the brave attack plus, his longevity is just not there because they're not meant for, you know, the bosses. Honestly, they're not meant for the bosses. They just don't do enough damage to warrant even using them in the first place. So you're going to be running out of ability. He still has that problem where he's going to be running out of abilities really fast. And then, not to mention that you have to worry about his max brave. You have to worry about making sure he's capping. You have to worry about this. You have to worry about that. Like, there's just too much to worry about with Squall, because if you raise his brave too much, and while he does get the initial bravery boost, if you still get too high, you still have to worry about the pluses going away. There's just so much to worry about with Squall. There's so much to worry about when you're running with Squall, and like honest to God, like I feel like he should have gotten this rework sooner, because I'm going to be honest, as soon as the level 70 arrives, literally as soon as the level 70 arrives, with our first level 70, another Dark Crystal user, Noctis, it's just going to, Squall, sit down. Squall, you got to sit down, buddy. You're done already. Like, yes, he's good for trash mob clears. He's a phenomenal farming character, honest to God. Like, if you need to go farm some crystals, you know, he's your boy. But, like, are you really going to sink some time and investment into grabbing a character that's going to lose his value so fast? If Squall is if Squall is an absolute favorite, you go for him. I don't want to actually sit here and trash on him as much as I am. I just feel that this rework honestly should have came when Tidus got his rework. Or who was right before Tidus? Whoever was right before Tidus who got their rework. Honestly, I felt like he should have came out at that time, because then he could have been here for the first Cosmos stage, where he would have been fucking amazing for the Ice Gigas. He could have been here for Vane's Cosmos, where he could have still had some spotlight. But as he is now, you're going to get maybe half a month's worth out of Squall before he gets sat down by Noctis. Other damage dealing units that are going to be coming out. Even Laguna puts him down a little bit, because Laguna is going to be getting a rework in a level 70 very soon with an EX weapon that does AoE damage with his grenade, his shotgun. Like, while it's not 100% shared, Laguna just still gets more to offer to the party versus what Squall can offer. Like, that's the problem. So by any means is Squall important for the Cosmos era? Absolutely not. I'm going to be honest, like, I don't want to, like, sit here and harp on the man as much as I am. I'm very sorry if he is a favorite of yours. But I'm just telling it as it is, and I'm just going to keep my opinions as honest as possible, because I just don't think he's worth it. I don't think you should really, honestly, I don't think you should be dropping gems on this banner at all. We have 2 Titans that are still up and running, Zach and Vane, upon the making of this video, who are still live on Global to pull for. We have Fran coming by the end of the week. She's coming this Sunday. Rydia, she's niche, and she's kind of like an off thing. Lulu, we'll talk more about those characters when they drop, but they're still better than what we're getting now. Except Layle. Layle, I actually think Layle's better than Rydia, but yeah. They're still better than what we're being offered with on this banner. So, save your gems, guys. I honestly think you should save your gems. If you are still spending gems, it should be on Zach and Vane. You need to do that. You need to get them. You need to have them. Yeah. Layle and Squall, while what they got was nice, unfortunately, they're just not that important for the Cosmos era. Squall will get maybe half a month's worth of spotlight. Layle, you could get a little more use out of him. You can actually take him a little bit into the level 70 era, just a little bit. But he kind of falls off again because the damage is just not there, and he's just being outclassed by other damage-dealing units. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. That's the importance of Layle and Squall for the Cosmos era. I'm going to make mention that, I keep forgetting that Global likes to throw some banners in between. So if we get any more sneaky banners in here like this one, where we get like a new rework, like an EX weapon comes out that wasn't on like the initial plan, because they did make mention that they were going to be dropping a new banner for the Abyss just to prepare for it, but they didn't make mention of who would be on there. So we're going to keep an open mind. I'm going to be ready to drop the videos for the characters that release with new EX weapons or returning ones, just kind of like what we had here. So that's that. I'm probably going to be working on the Abyss after the making of this video, trying to get through that. I'll be putting out some run clears on the Cosmos, and some helpful videos on the level 100 stuff, because it's going to be a little tricky to work through, especially since we have specific requirements to meet the score requirement, complete the mission requirements to actually perfect it. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm sorry, Squall players.